to tellers here, but we're going to be hopping right into the map for you guys here on console between Nokturnal and Arbad for our first matchup of the West stage for week 2.
Let's take a look at the bans first, and we're actually going to see a Blackbeard ban, which we don't get that too often. That's coming from Arbad's side as well. Nocturnal's going to get their first ban out here.
They pay me for a reason. That's all I'm going to do. Oh, man.
Let's take a look and see after that interesting first ban how we're going to see Arbad take it here if they go along more expected routes. And they're going to knock out Glaz, which I think more people would agree with being a sensible operator to knock out here. A lot of window play, a lot of play in general from the outside of this building that can happen. A lot of long hallways as well that Glaz can really thrive in. So it makes sense why we see him getting eliminated. Echo, of course, aligning with general trends in the meta. Normally either him or Maestro being taken out up to basically the first team ban's preference. In the second one, let's take a look.
Should be a Valkyrie. Should be a Valkyrie. We'll see. Oh, it's going to be a Maestro. They're going to eliminate both of the Denial brothers, so they will both be off the board. Looks like we're going to have a Valkyrie in play, which means you guys are going to be seeing a lot of IQ on offense. This map is really favored towards those black eye cameras because you can put them literally everywhere outside. All those palm trees on the other side of the building, over on the west windows, you can put them up in the big tree so you can watch up on the console office windows. There's so many things that you can get creative with her black eyes.
All right, so Arbad is going to be starting out on defense. Nocturnal takes the offensive start. And as you were mentioning before, as we generally expect, we're going to be starting on the second floor, console and meeting.
Yeah, this is a pretty traditional spot to start. Sometimes they will go downstairs. We're going to see the 6 pick to Valkyrie from Cali, which I'm kind of surprised about because they did see that Davey did have the IQ, but I guess they're more than likely just going to keep the cameras inside. You don't want to try and put too many cameras outside where IQ just has easy access to them off rip, because then you get rid of all of your utilities super early on. That's no information, and you practically just wasted half of your utility. But as I was saying, this upstairs site is usually the first pick, but sometimes you will see them go downstairs initially. Those are usually the 2 favorites on this map. Lobby is a highly contested site just because you have such easy access to it from the front door, and that's where Glaz and Capitao and a lot of these ops come in handy. Now, well, we are on the subject of Capitao. We'll talk about him just a little bit before we do get into the action phase here for you guys, because the new patch just came out for Rainbow 6, and we are live on that because we are playing online, obviously. So, Capitao's tick damage is down from 19 to 12. The AoE, or area of effect, it has been enlarged. So now he has more getting rid of all of your air potential, I guess. You can't really say burning potential anymore because Parker explained asphyxiating bolts. So, and gravity affects the arrow after 10 meters. So you might see some trick shots with that tactical crossbow.
In addition to that, we saw some additional changes to operators like Maestro, but he's been banned out, so we'll talk about that when it becomes appropriate, hopefully in one of our later matches if he does get banned out again. Unfortunately, he's a relatively common ban, so we might not get a chance to talk about that today.
Yeah, it's one or the other with those two.
Yeah, really it's either Echo because he has... I think Echo... It's actually pretty even, I think, but I think a lot of teams generally tend to favor to knock out Echo simply because it's the more instant denial, or would you disagree with that?
Here's the thing. So with the Yokais, you have a lot more roam potential with it because you can put a Yokai with your roamers and really support them. But with Maestro, you have 2 bulletproof cameras that also shoot lasers that also, by the way, he has the only LMG on defense. And it's amazing. Yeah, everyone knows how good the Alda is.
That's true, yeah. I wasn't considering the Alda.
Oh my goodness, we're getting aggressive here on admin as Carnage is going to take out Patrick. Good night, my friend. Oh my goodness.
Playing right up against the window, which we should say, again, not something you see used too often. They're literally just going right at their throats here at admin office, and it seems to be working against Nocturnal. Already taking out the sleds, it's going to limit soft destruction potential. Not by a whole lot. They still have the Zofia to try and utilize that later on in the round, but no more infinite wall knocks anymore that they could have used from the sledge. So we're going to see that potential eliminated. Still trying to play around with that admin repel, though. We've got at least 1 player from Nocturnal on the outside. You can see they do take downstairs and are trying to spam through the floorboards. And it's not really going to work out, though. Tuffy ends up picking the next kill against Davey, taking him out of the fight, and already Nocturnal going down to 3 members with about a little over a minute left in the round here.
And traditionally, you will rotate over to that south window, but Albatross will rotate up admin stairs. Actually, Zofia going to come in from copy and hops up on the desk, finds Carnage. It's going to be Tuffy all by himself, and Albatross will follow it up. Trying to equalize things here. It's all left up to Cali and Rav. They are the two remaining on site. 55 seconds left on the clock, but IQ and Sledge both gone. No more frag grenades, but plenty of utility left for Nokturnal to take this.
Arbad spending a little bit too much time in the admin offices there and trying to hold the aggressive pinch against Nokturnal here. Failed to realize the downstairs control that Nokturnal got along with the copy control, and as such was able to isolate out quite a few of these defenders before they had a chance to move back to the site. Advantage has shifted now over to our attacker's side, over to Nokturnal's side, and they're going to look to try and change this up. Stun's coming out now, so execution might be in the books over the next few moments here. You can see Cali, he's got a good lineup on defense, but he's also up against multiple players. Asphyxiating Bolt, he's actually going to walk right through it. Almost loses his life from that, in fact. Goes down to 25 HP, and this is just to be able to get the C4 onto the ground. It's not going to stop the planner at very minimum. They haven't noticed it just yet. Ravs will be able to take out one, it looks like, but no, Cali actually gets the credit, knocks out all of the remaining defenders. Ravs finally gets credit for his kill at the end there, and we do indeed see our bat taking control of round number 1 upstairs.
Nokturnal thinking that that Capitao Bolt was going to last a little bit longer than it did, but Cali able to rotate out, get some health back up, rotate back in through Connector. Clutch up the round for our bat. So that's going to be 1-0 on the board. I think initially for our bad, they just really weren't watching their flanks for Ab and just allowed all of the aggression to come up, not only Spiral, or actually I do believe that Cobra just swung in from copy window and they just had no idea, did not hear the sound cue. Then we had the Capitao rotate all the way up the admin stairs with a very nice flank to try and get rid of that aggression. They did get those 2 initial picks, but just were not aware of their surroundings, but the 2 site players will clutch up for our bad after Nokturnal. A little bit of a blunder with their utility.
So interesting second site choice here as well from our bad. They're going to skip the basement and go right to lobby. So we'll see how this works out for them. See a lot of the defense position going to be a lot of emphasis for these guys on holding upstairs control on top of probably the small bathroom on the left side of the first floor.
Well, we got our ACOG brothers back that we talked about last week, but you guys can go back and find that meme if you want to. Biggest thing to talk about here is Mute and Pulse. More than likely, you're going to see those two playing downstairs. As you see, Beastly rocking that Nitro Cell as well as Tuffy rocking a Nitro Cell as well. The reason you're going to see them downstairs is the fact that you can prevent plant all the way from downstairs, and Tuffy is going to do especially a fantastic job at that with the cardiac sensor, allowing himself to see through walls and see heartbeats, even though, you know, if you hate medical stuff, that is pretty scary, but that is exactly what he does. So able to throw those Nitro Cells through those hatches, prevent plant in a simpler way instead of face checking.
Lineup is going to change up a little bit here for the attacking side as well. Same general formula, but the most notable change, of course, is bringing the Nomad into play. Allows them to roam a little bit more freely, not having to check every single angle and kind of fend off some of these flanks that the defenders may try to utilize to pinch them out later on in the round.
Yeah, Nomad, a very big pickup here. They wanted to get rid of the Capitao because, you know, Capitao really helps out Glaz here, especially with the smoke bolts that cannot get ADS, so he can just fire those right into anti-chamber and you don't have to deal with it anymore. But since he is going to be off the board, Capitao would not be nearly as good a pick here. So they're going to pick up the Nomad in order to prevent hop-outs from the anti-chamber windows or piano where people can get really, really aggressive. Instead, they're going to get knocked on their butt and be a free kill for whoever's waiting outside.
But Tuffy's going to be holding right at the top of Spiral Stairs. So like we said before, probably going to do a decent amount of rotation between the basement and the first floor to try and hold this, trying to scan as much as possible in the process. It's looking like Nokturnal do want to try and favor upstairs control first in order to try and clear out our bad, any lurking presence that may be upstairs here first before they try and go for the actual cap. Probably going to be relatively stretched for time, too. That's the crux of this site for the attackers. They need to spend a lot of time basically figuring out the setup for the defenders before they end up committing, more than likely, to a lobby push. We don't see piano used as the plant site too often. It's almost always just a quick push into the first floor. Good amount of spot coming out from the Pulse player and Tuffy. Meanwhile, we see Bex already getting knocked out. Tuffy, the Nitro Cell, though, is going to be a big miss. Nothing connecting on it from him. Bex, in the meanwhile, still down, but Tuffy able to pick up the first kill here for Arbat, knocking out Albatross.
Oh, man. Oh, actually, I thought that was a shot from Jaeger or Cali, but no, it's not going to be. It's going to be the Habana of Kardama. He is actually going to be able to take down Jaeger as well. Finishes him off with a secondary SMG, but it's going to be all left up to Tuffy and Rav. Rav on site, Tuffy going to try and play the bottom of Spiral. Only 3 left on the side of Nokturnal as we did just reach under a minute. Secondary drone phase more than likely coming out right now, where they're going to try and see who's exactly on site and if they can get an easy pick, make this a 1v3, make it a little bit easier on themselves.
So they've got the control. You can see Tuffy still trying to utilize his position to leverage something. Unfortunately, he's really only got one attempt to work his way out and stop the plant over here Meanwhile, Doc is still trying to hold inside of Piano to make sure they don't complete a successful push. Probably through yellow stairs to take this either. Coming down to the wire here, though, for the guys on Nokturnal. They do need to attempt the plant soon. You can see them attempting to try and breach the inside of Piano Room and clear out the Doc that's being played by Rav. No success on finding those. He's right in between the two windows. It's not going to be so easy to spot. And that's an easy drop, and that's the diffuser gone down too. Massive panic as all of a sudden 3 kills come out of nowhere for Our Bad. And once again, they turn a disadvantaged 2vx situation on its heels at the end.
Our Bad really leaning on their site players, and it's working out for them. I mean, Nokturnal, they get that initial pressure, but they really just don't know what to do with it. They spent so much time with that secondary droning to see exactly where people were on site, and even after that, they really didn't know where the Doc was. I mean, he was sitting inside a Piano for most of that time. They couldn't find him. They're just like, all right, well, I guess we have to send it towards site. Thermite tries to swing the window. I thought he was going to get kicked in the face there for a second, which, Blue, if you didn't know, that it actually kills people. If the animation completes, he would have killed Doc right there.
I did not know that.
Yes, yeah, you
Never
can
seen
actually
that happen before.
Yeah, you can straight up like Indiana Jones kick people in the face with Repel. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, there you go. Use that inside of your ranked games. You're welcome. I've only had it happen once, and I have like 3,000 hours in this game.
I've never seen that happen. It's the first time I heard of that.
I'm gonna be honest. It happened to me. So
oh no!
Yeah, like I challenged just like that, and I had like flashbacks right there. I was like, no. Oh man!
Did you know it could happen?
No, I had no idea. I had no idea. You learn something new every day in this game, man. That's just how it works. So, but I mean, Our Bad. I think that the roam potential is really, really good right now. I feel like Nokturnal has a good game against it. I feel like Nokturnal just needs to get better at executing. I feel like this is a younger team. That's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting from them right now, to be completely honest with you. And the reason for that is because their early aggression in dealing with that is very, very good. Even to have the idea, or IGL's idea, to rotate people up to copy or to admin to try and get rid of that pressure in the first round was very, very good. Yeah. But in that second round, they get all of the pressure immediately. They alleviate all of topside, and they go, okay, now what? And then it just seemed like things were very unstructured for their actual execute.
Yeah, they had a lot set up to be able to even just go for a quick lobby push and try to essentially go for a quick plant there, but time management just did not play into their favor, and then losing the diffuser right at the end of the round obviously just threw everything into chaos. They only had about, I think, 10 or 15 seconds left in the round at that point to try and turn it back, and just couldn't be done, unfortunately. So once again, they end up dropping a round that seemed to be going in their direction after they had countered out some of the initial aggression from Our Bad, but didn't seem to be the case for 2 rounds straight now.
Ready to push them out.
Going to be rocking the Nomad again is Albatross. Seems like Nokturnal wants to take things a little bit slower, but they are playing more of an extended hold down here, as we will have Tuffy instead of the storage room at the bottom of bottom spiral. Nokturnal more or less focused on this main floor pressure that Cali currently has. As he's going to get some help from underneath still as well. I feel like Tuffy's going to try and bait a Nitro Cell under here and get an easy pick, as Cali's going to try and play out his life inside of the antechamber bathroom.
He's going to get spotted, of course. Looks like his window might have got popped too, which won't necessarily play into his favor. The drone spotting doesn't matter too much, though, as there's almost always someone going to be playing into here. It's just a matter of a question of whether he falls back. The window is not popped, by the way, from the looks of things. ADS is getting burned out now, which means Cali's going to come under pressure. Mans to retreat soon. No! Doubles down the aggression! Somehow is still alive. Nitro Cell will miss. Tries to adjust on his aim, but no. Ends up going down to Private Rick.
That Nitro Cell so very close, but Nokturnal is going to get paid back in tenfold, as Cali as well as Carnage will both eat dust. And it's all left up to the site players once again to try and clutch this up for Our Bad. Oh my goodness, Rav. Woo, what a shot from the Doc.
The lineup from him is just beautiful. Immediately he's going to stop the garage pressure, only temporarily, unfortunately. Tuffy will manage to catch usage from the Nomad there, and won't get caught by that, so he'll be able to successfully rotate down, even wins the fight on the Nomad as well. Albatross goes down. Tuffy completes the pinch. Yellow stairs no longer an issue for our defenders here. For the time being, only needing to focus on the garage push, and again, time management becoming an issue for Nokturnal. Losing so many of these players in the late round and having to quickly adjust for it might be what causes them to lose the round here.
Running out of gas, and that's exactly what Beastly's going to try and give him here on Smoke. Patrick will find Tuffy, though. Once again, puts Nokturnal in front, at least by man count, as a bomb will get picked up. That's going to be Thatcher. or Kardama as he's going to try and put the diffuser down, but Beastly's going to get aggressive. Oh my gosh, he's going to put him down as Beastly's going to find 2. It's all left up to Patrick upstairs, but only 2 seconds left. That's yet another round clutched up by the defense of our bad. Oh my gosh.
Beastly giving us a frag montage there at the end as well. Quick kill, quick 180, spins around, switches the shotgun, pops another head off of a player there too. A great late round recovery once again from our bad to close out a 3rd consecutive round that seemed to be going perfectly well for Nokturnal. Every time they get close to the site though, things fall apart time after time again. And our last round was no different. Of course, with 3 rounds won from our bad, they've now completed their site rotation and can go back to the 2nd floor.
Yeah, Nokturnal is having a huge problem with stalling. Initially, they get that pressure relieved. We'll talk about main floor once again here as they get Callie dug out of his hole inside of the 1st floor bathroom. And after that, they even find another pick on top of it. They get rid of the pulse. No more nitro cell, nothing to deal with downstairs. No cardiac sensor to give immediate information to his teammates. So, 2 people down. You got more or less all of the players up for Nokturnal, and then things just go awry once again. I mean, it seems like all of this pressure is for nothing. They're giving up singles. That's really what it is. They're taking those 1v1 gunfights, which is not what you want to do in that situation. If you want to get aggressive and you want to take the gunfights, you play the trade game. That's what you do. You stack people up, you try and get as much pressure on one person, one angle, as possible. First guy takes a gunfight, if he immediately loses it, you challenge immediately after that, because not only are you going to be battling someone with hopefully less health, but less bullets inside of that magazine.
Curling nitro cell getting tossed out. We probably won't see it used, but curious to see.
I was looking at you, so where did it get placed?
Somewhere right here. Thank you, Marcio. I think they picked it up already, so.
I would hope so.
I was like, awkward. Early round nitro cell?
That's a very awkward situation to say.
For these folks who may know, the sound it makes is like incredibly obvious to any approaching attacker, so not really a point in like pre-placing a nitro cell. It's be a very unorthodox strat. You should be at a minimum there.
Pre-placed nitro cells are just a thing of the past, I'd say.
Yeah.
Looks like Albatross is going to continue to stick things out here on Nomad. We haven't seen Capital picked up since the 1st round where they attacked a console.
A lot more droning going on, it seems, inside of the admin offices this time, but it's also our bad that's really pulled back from the previous round. They were literally up against the windows before. This time, there's no presence on the inside of admin whatsoever. Already with 1 player on the inside, 2 more, I believe, from Nokturnal ready to jump in the windows and admin in just a second as well. Our bad has certainly pulled back for this round and is playing a lot closer to the chest.
Yeah, our bad opting for the turtle strategy here. They're going to put most of their bodies on site. They are going to have 1 roamer, as you guys could see over near yellow, but could rotate out at any time. And it appears that Callie's actually going to hop outside and get aggressive. I don't think they're ready for it. He's going to hop onto the roof, so Callie's going to be stuck outside. He has to make a quick rotate before getting taken down. This is where things could possibly go wrong for him. There's going to be nobody on yellow. He's got to choose his path. Huffy's going to be at the bottom of yellow to try and help him out. But our bad recognizing out that Nokturnal has not been good at trying to get site execute down, so they're going to play most of their players on that site.
Beastly, still watching out. He's got drone pressure on him, though, so he does be a little bit careful. Barely dodges his own death. He'll lose a little under half HP, but still ends up getting taken down by Cobra. Carnage with the run out, trades in a Cobra, but Albatross finding 1 on top of that to take down Carnage.
This could really mess some things up for Nokturnal, actually. That's a big pick on a Zofia. No more concussions to try and make any of these gunfights easier for any of these players. They do still have the hard breach utility with the Thatcher, though, so they could get into the back of meeting if they so desire. And it looks like that's what they are set up for back here as Kardama, as well as his Thatcher duo, are inside of vending. Oh no, what a blunder. Kardama gonna take down his teammate, and that's gonna be the Thatcher. You killed your duo, my man. Oh no, Albatross, though, will bring it back into their favor as it is all up to Rav and Valkyrie of Cali once again.
Similar story, right? We've seen this happen before. The attempt at the plant is not immediately denied by Rav. He's going to try to spam through the table. Not really going to work. Nitro Cell going in. Again, no, it actually manages to grab Kardama, and the pre-hold on the window takes out Albatross. I can't believe they continue to do this. This would be the 4th round in a row. They bring it back. Another 2vx for our bad, and they continue to dominate at 4-0.
Are you sure we're not watching a frag montage?
I don't know.
Are you sure? Oh my gosh. I mean, our bad. I mean, the one thing that you have to respect is you are not getting their sight. Like, that's just, it's not happening. It is not happening. The big thing that Nokturnal is not doing is not putting pressure other places. They have a one-front attack almost every single time, and the times where they've tried to do multiple areas, they're giving people ones that they can just win easily. I mean, Our Bad is playing very, very smart with the amount of utility that they're bringing for information. They're playing Pulse a lot, which is a good thing. That Cardiac Sensor helps out a lot on this map, especially because the Cardiac Sensor can actually see through every single floor, no matter where you are. If you're all the way in the basement, you can see the top floor with that Cardiac Sensor. So Pulse plays a big part of this map, as well as Valkyrie has been paying in dividends as well.
It just seems like Nokturnal are doing a really good job of getting intel and clearing out the early roam game from Our Bad, but as soon as it gets to the site, the intel they're able to gather via droning or other methods just falls off a cliff. They're not able to lock down the locations of those site players, and the problem is, since they're always executing so late into the round, when things start to go wrong, like we've seen happen in at least 3 rounds now, where they lose 2 to 3 players in just a second or two, they don't have the time to fall back, reposition players, and push back in again. So they're stuck at that point in a relatively one-dimensional push, and that just plays further and further into the site player's agenda.
Exactly, exactly. I think the roughest thing for Nokturnal right now is that every single round they've had man advantage for execute. Every single round. And that's on all different sites, console, lobby, basement, console once again. So it's not like, you know, oh, you know, we were just down people. It's, no, I hate to say it, but they've been a touch of a throw every single round. I mean, you guys just aren't putting bodies where they are needed for the pressure. And I feel like they're trying to address that now, but will it be too little too late? We talked about this prior to this match. In these ones, you have to have early pressure. You have to have early rounds in order to try and find success, because coming back on a one map from a best of one, when you're already down 4 rounds right off the rip is a very, very tough thing to do.
Well, we'll see if they can do it. Down 0-4 now. Tuffy gonna start off well on that basement pulse play, immediately knocking out Albatross. And again, that's flank watch gone down.
Oh, man.
They do manage to take out the Nomad.
That Nitro Cell literally launched Albatross across that room. Like that, he went over 2 desks. Like, that's gotta be a new Olympic record or something. That's ridiculous.
So with the launch being successful, and Tuffy, once again, coming out on top.
Use space station memes.
They do manage to spot the Montaigne push coming up the server steps. But still a process of actually figuring out how to counter this out, and more importantly, get the Montaigne into a position where it can be useful for this site push, if they want to clear out the top players, that is.
Only half of the round remaining. Montaigne all by his lonesome here at the top of admin stairs, as he does have Cobra inside of his vending for Flag Hallway, as one of the concussions will go off. That's going to be one of Cobra's, but it's not going to do too much to Beastly. Montaigne does not want to drop his shield, but oh wow, they're actually going to allow Nokturnal to come up Flag Hallway, and what a pre-fire! Cobra's going huge right now. Is actually Doc is going to be able to pick himself up. That's going to be Carnage inside of the bathroom. He's getting shot from every angle, but he's going to be able to take down Cobra. Montaigne, oh my gosh, we're going to have it once again this week, as Montaigne's going to one-tap Doc inside of the bathroom. Flank going to try and come off from Yellow from Rav, but he's going to get taken down by Patrick. This has been so much better from Nokturnal. Will Tuffy be able to continue this reign, or will Nokturnal find their first round? 40 seconds left here in round number 5, as Patrick will seal the deal, and Nokturnal will find their first round.
Patrick, the mop-up squad towards the end of the round there, just cleaning up the final kill with relative ease. Also, I think reads into this lobby rotation a little bit ahead of time. So it's a nice moves by Patrick there to be able to close out relatively quickly on that. But really, for the first time ever, catching a lot of the players from Nokturnal out of position. And once again, following that up all the way to the end of the site take there for Nokturnal. Finally able to really just commit themselves to the push once they start having the, you know, once the pendulum starts swinging into their favor, they actually really press on that this time, instead of just kind of waiting and delaying until about 30 or 40 seconds as we've seen them do in previous rounds. And overall, that makes for a much more successful take from them. Our Bad does have the basement unlocked now, but they're going to choose to stick with the first floor play here at the lobby and press room.
Yeah, that means lobby will be our most played site for Our Bad on this map. They're going to have played it 3 times and followed up by console with 2. So pretty confident in this lobby site. I'd say that the thing that they messed up on the most was not trying to address Flag Hallway. They just allowed them to walk up Flag. I mean, you guys have the entire wall open for that hallway in order for your mute to rotate, or other people try and rotate into meeting, or projector as some people do call it. But you don't have anybody looking into it. The only thing that you're really holding is not Carnage, excuse me. It's like Nokturnal. Carnage inside of the bathroom, holding the long angle into meeting to try and give Beastly some support on that door, but that's not going to help him with any of Flag Hallway at all.
Well, let's see if Nokturnal finally piecing together their first round and start to leverage that further into at least a 2-4 half. This is the last round on the half. It's a good chance for Our Bad to re-solidify their own advantage with a 5-1 lead, leaving them with only 2 attacking rounds they need to close out on if they want to close out this series and push them into our final match of the day.
I'd say the toughest thing for Nokturnal here, or the true test of their will, is going to be if Our Bad hits that magic number 6. 1 round away from victory. Nokturnal cannot have a single slip up. But Tuffy with some early aggression. By early aggression, I mean an early Nitro Cell, as he will find a kill onto Thatcher. Thatcher not really needed for this site, but EMPs go a very long way. I mean, getting rid of mutes, getting rid of ADSs, and he can even disable that cardiac sensor of pulse.
Effectiveness of Tuffy, though, once again in this half has been certainly nothing but brilliant from him. He's had a very good record of actual success with those basement Nitro Cell plays. And has really been a thorn in the side of Nocturnal, constantly knocking out the single player, and usually finding it in relatively early round situations, too. There hasn't really been any roaming presence in the basement in an attempt to fish him out in the early round, so they keep playing into it, keeps picking up kills.
Yeah, I'm very surprised there hasn't been a 6th pick or really any pick of IQ except for the very first round. I mean, we haven't seen her come out just yet, and it's not because she has a bad gun. She has one of the best ARs in the entire game, actually the highest damage margin on that 5.52 commando of any AR, but we are going to have Twitch instead, which is immediately going to get muted out, but they're playing things a little bit differently this time around. They're going to have the mute playing very, very close to the chest here. He's going to pop 1 shot. It's going to make contact, but not too much. Nitro Cell to follow up, and he's going to shoot it out of the air. Cobra. All right.
Good counter there from Cobra. Albatross may find himself in trouble in a moment here. He's playing around a similar position to Beastly, but patience may work out here. Beastly peeks into the hallway, and again, getting very lucky to not get popped off on these peaks. Trying to do more damage over to Cobra. Nearly manages to take him out in the process. Brings him down to 25 HP, but the shotgun shells just going to spread a little bit too much that range to guarantee the kill. Very messy duel coming down over by the long desk and the big desk here by Carnage, as he tries to close it on another kill. It's 2 attackers now that are brought down incredibly low as a result of just this poking play from the defensive.
Our Bad, realizing their mistakes, going to hold down on Flag Hallways. Tuffy's actually going to see somebody underneath, and Rav is immediately going to put him down. And Callie going to follow it up. This is looking like the Our Bad show this time around. Carnage is going to continue this long-distance gunfight with that ACOG of Doc, but it's going to be all left up to Cobra and Thermite. This Cobra will take down Beastly, but it's going to be too little, too late. 24 seconds. They're going to have to try and find some more success, because it's going to be all left up to Davey here. So he's going to try and get in a gunfight with Doc on Flag Hallways. 16 seconds, as he's going to either have to try and commit towards site, which he's getting flanked from, or try and fight his way up. But Tuffy, once again, coming up massive for Our Bad.
Unfortunately, Davey just ending up in a very exposed position by long desks there in Flag Hallway at the end of the round. And we could see eventually was going to get pinched out from the first, second floor spiral stairs anyway. Not much of a chance for redemption, so he ends up going down. And that solidifies the 5-1 advantage for Our Bad. If you're just joining us, you missed some very interesting rounds from Our Bad, where Nokturnal actually had an amazing success rate in the early round with attacking and clearing out the roaming presence from the defensive side of Our Bad. But oftentimes executing with a very low amount of time, they would lose a massive amount of players just due to the site defenders, and lost, I think it was 4 2vx situations in a row in that first half. Our Bad, some fantastic heroics for them to bring it back so many times, and now they have the advantage to close this match out. Only 2 potential rounds if they can make it swift here on attack.
And on this side of the half, Nokturnal is going to have to come up big here. They're already down 4 rounds after that offensive set. So I really don't know if I have the answer here. It looks like they're favoriting more of a roam style of play. They have Cobra on the Vigil, they have Davey on the Jaeger, so you're more than likely going to see those 2 duoing in some sort of sense of the word off of site, whether it be upstairs, mid-level, what have you. But looks like with Our Bad setup, they more or less predicted this. They brought the Thermite because obviously all of the sites were open and they really didn't know where to go, but Nokturnal's not going to bring a single thing to try and prevent them from getting Garage, besides holding down Piano. They're going to have Cobra roam upstairs, which isn't very strange at all. I mean, they do have the hatches open for him, so he can try and prevent Lobby as well as Piano, or at least assist some of his teammates downstairs and get aggressive when he can. But as you guys can see, Arbad not opting for the Thatcher, and they're not even really going to need it due to the fact that Nokturnal did not bring anything to prevent them on Garage.
Well, let's see how Arbad will find success. Pretty early focus on the yellow stairs. Probably just some initial aggression. Be very surprised to see them push in this early. However, there is a counter at the window. This is where that Vigil from Cobra could potentially come into play and knock out one of the attackers early on. Still, a lot of emphasis on the droning, though. They know they've got the Vigil somewhere inside of that room. Just don't have an exact lock on the location just yet. Vigil will get caught now back on the first floors. He's actually retreated a little bit. So once again, going to try and use the jammer to get out of a hotspot. He's being hunted down, a primary target. Certainly an understatement with the amount of focus that Arbad puts onto Cobra, but they deal with him swiftly, taking him out still with 2 minutes to go.
I don't know why they would set up everything upstairs for him to have success on this roam, and then he gets immediately punished. And Patrick's going to find a little bit of the same, but Callie's going to go down. Tuffy not in a good spot either, as Beastly will finally get this wall thermited open. Carnage walking down yellow, or slow walking, as Albatross and Davey are going to try and find some success inside of Piano, but Carnage will follow things up. Davey's still alive somewhere, as he is going to rotate to benches. Still one down for the side of Arbad, so things pretty even right now. Callie bleeding out next to the vending machine. Not exactly the spot you want to be in, or possibly die. I don't think that makes for a good story.
He still won't die thirsty.
Yeah, that is true.
And we'll see the Zofia charge being used to take out the bulletproof camera on the wall. Rav's going to do a little bit of droning to work their way on the inside, but we're still over a minute. This was the key difference between the two attacking sides. We could already see just off the first round. Arbad trying to attack far earlier, but not counting for the defensive setup again. Patrick and Kardama immediately picking up 2 kills and now limited to just their 2 attackers. Kardama able to take out Callie as well. And we're down to just the Nomad now in a 1v3.
And Patrick will be able to find Carnage outside, and that'll be Nokturnal on this side of the round, their first round on defense, so looking good on this side. I didn't think that this was going to go the way that it was, especially after that roam game, where Vigil just more or less abandoned post. I mean, he's just like, I don't want to be here, I want to be on the first level, and immediately got punished for that. I thought that was really going to go the other way, but as we saw on the other side of the coin, when Arbad was on defense, they just turned it around. So we'll see if they can continue to do that, as we are going to be going to lobby press room this time around. Not going upstairs just yet.
Similar story, of course, in the first round. Now it's time to see if Nokturnal can continue to crawl back from the deficit they have right now, or if Arbad, it's just a bump in the road for them, and they will be able to correct it relatively quickly. Into the round we will go, and let's take a look and see. As Nokturnal also, instead of going upstairs following their success on basement, will opt to play into lobby piano room.
Very interested to see if Arbad is going to go for more of a standard take here and just try and take Abin, clear out the up top, and trying to alleviate that pressure that a lot of teams try and hold inside a projector room, especially how Arbad was setting it up as well. And honestly, again, Nokturnal being a younger team, this is more or less where they're going to shine, is defense. Defense is known to be easier than offense just because they have to come into your house. You don't have to go into theirs. So everything that you set up is your own. You know your angles, hopefully. And
it's also just it's a lot less stress, I think, on the leadership for the team.
Yeah.
Not as many, major adjustments to the strategy that may have to be made in the mid-round if things go poorly. At most, it's just moving 1 or 2 players around for the most part.
You can do a lot more free thinking.
Yeah.
You don't just have your drones and you're the queen and just move them around everywhere. This isn't chess, so
it's more checkers.
Yeah, it's more checkers. More checkers on defense. Offense is more chess.
So we'll see how
Zofia's my queen.
How is she? We'll talk about that later. We've got Rav making a push. Carnage, a little peephole through the window, takes out Davey early on and eliminates the Jaeger presence before it can find any success.
You know what it is? They didn't make that angle. They weren't ready for that. That was one of the angles they did not make. He punches the window. And again, that is where Blackbeard shines, and that's why Blackbeard got banned there, is because those windows in particular are just his household. I mean, he just opens them. You really can't get in a gunfight with him. He gets to establish a very long angle all the way through the upstairs site, or even when you have multiple roamers out there like right now when you're holding lobby, makes it very, very easy for the offenders. But Carnage is going to do it without a face shield and a couple of air jabs, but he's not going to air jab. He's more or less going to throw lead at people, as Cobra will do the same. Rav going to go down this time around, though.
Cobra finding more success on his roam game, nearly picking up a second kill as well. Carnage lucky to be alive with less than 5 HP. Tuffy running right into Cobra though, takes him out as he takes control of the admin offices upstairs and leverages that into Visa stair control.
Cali going to continue to hold down the balcony. A minute 18 left. They're still good on time, but they still have 2 people to worry about up top, and Cali's going to recognize that out as his drone will lose its life inside of Projector, so he knows at least one is sitting inside of console. Tuffy and Carnage are both practically playing paintball. You breathe on them, they're done. One shot, they're out. Tuffy's going to rotate over to the top of Spiral, try and last as long as possible. Now, biggest thing here is, especially after Patrick removes one of them, is that a reset is not going to be the best idea here. Resets only get you back to 20 health, but Cali's going to have none of that as Kardama will find him standing on top of the table and Piano, but Carnage is going to rotate around and find Patrick. Again, only one-click headshots inside of this game as Carnage will reaffirm that as he removes the head of Rook, making things a little bit more equal. But again, Carnage is on his last limb here. Beastly the only one with full health, besides the other 2 defenders, and it is Smoke and Doc as Kardama will find yet another one. It's all left up to Carnage upstairs. He has to try and get aggressive now. It's going to be very hard with this minimal of health. Angle's already being held, as you guys can see through the silhouettes, and Kardama once again will find round number 2 for Nokturnal. I feel like we just honestly flip the coin. I mean, it's 2 sides here. The defense is just clutching up every single round. Man advantage gained, but I feel like, especially in that round, Nokturnal did just enough damage to 2 of those offenders where they really couldn't do much.
Got to give credit to Kardama as well for having great reads in the late round there. You know, getting most of those kills from different positions every single time, constantly shifting his presence around that spiral stairs position in order to get, I think it was 3, if not 4 kills in that round alone. So some really good stuff from him. Incredibly important in closing out in as clean of a fashion as they did, and once again recovering from an otherwise lost situation that would have given Arbad the round. Again though, Arbad seeming to struggle on this attacking side. Hands over. The advantage now to Nokturnal. Still a few more rounds needed to tie the game up, potentially allow them to take the lead. You have to remember, Arbad is still in a position. Only 2 more rounds are needed to close out here. So if they rebound, if they figure out what the issues are and correct them quickly, they can still rush ahead and claim this map.
Arbad is just having a little bit of trouble with their information game, I would say. Their early round information is not bad, which is getting them that initial pressure, but their late game, they're down on drones. Their drone economy is just not there, and they can't get any information. And that's what Arbad has really been thriving off of. I mean, you look at their defensive setups. They have Pulse, they have Valkyrie, they have all of these operators to try and give them the maximum amount of information they can possibly gain. And right now, they're just not getting that. That early aggression, once again, capitalized on the backs of as many drones they can possibly throw at Nokturnal. But once that goes away and they have to start face-checking things is really where Arbad gets into trouble. Now, you guys saw something pretty interesting that happens once in a fortnight here on Consulate, which is people holding down break room upstairs with Mira, which isn't a traditional thing. Actually, this map right here is one of Mira's arguably worst maps, but they're actually going to do a double Mira setup, and they're going to pop one of them, which is kind of a peculiar thing here, unless one of them got popped, but there's no Twitch on the offense, so definitely could not have happened. They're actually going to have Cobra roaming over inside of that admin as well, but this isn't even going to be an admin take. Arbad going to be recognizing out early that they do not want to try and get aggressive on that. But speaking of aggression, Albatross is going to take down Rav as Rav's trying to make his way, or more or less force his way up yellow. And Davey going to find one downstairs inside of Piano as Carnage will go down. Tuffy trying to find that refrag, but nothing coming just yet.
Tuffy, Beastly, and Cali, now the 3 remaining players from Arbad, going to attempt to turn this around, but Davey just has full control of the first floor. There's been no attempt to stop him. Cali with a good angle. He's having trouble finding the head of the dock to be able to take him out. Not going to take any damage in return, mind you. And finally, Davey is dealt with downstairs as he tries to wrap once again towards Piano Room, but now Cobra jumps in, finds Beastly, and it's all up to the Capitao now in a 1v4.
Late rotates punishing Arbad as these roamers of Nokturnal will drop late, especially Cobra, as his fallen ally will go down. He chooses to fill his shoes downstairs by Circle Desk, and it's going to be all left up to Cali. Cobra will obviously not be detected by drones. He doesn't have the ERC-7 on yet, but now he really can't turn it on because he lost his life.
He's dead.
He is dead. As Cali will try and take another gunfight against Kardama, and will this be the Cali show, everyone? It could be close. As M249, so many rounds, he doesn't have to reload, multiple gunfights. This is where you want to be at. The flick, but Patrick will be the one to take the gunfight and win, as Nokturnal will find round number 4, and they're slowly but surely bringing it back.
Again, intel being a problem for our attackers on Arbad, walking into yellow stairs thinking that it's a safe amount of control, but primarily the Jaeger, I believe, from downstairs just rotating around them time after time. Again, that was Davey causing so many problems, just literally wrapping between the entrance to Spiral Stairs and back over to the door leading into Piano Room, picking up at least 2 kills and delaying the push very, very long term, causing them, unfortunately, to slow things down, second-guess themselves, and ultimately lose the round in a 1vx situation.
Yeah, our bad might need to find some of that Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Tastes like berry-flavored wind sauce. They're trying to find 2 more rounds here. And it seemed like Cali almost had it. It was so very close. If he won that gunfight against Patrick, I really think that he would have won them that entire round. That M249, again, you can literally just pre-fire everything. That is why LMGs are so dangerous in this game, especially when they don't have that much recoil. I mean, look at the Aldo of Maestro. That's why Maestro is predominantly banned out. Not only because of his utility, because his utility is so very good. Thank gosh they finally put some sort of counter besides, you know, sledging it or blowing it up. But I mean, the LMG of Capitao makes him so dangerous, and I mean, why not? His utility is so very good now. It's insane.
Oh,
that poor soap dispenser, Patrick. You didn't have to do that. I just gotta pay for that.
Aren't you a doctor, Doc?
Don't touch me, I'm sterile.
How are you getting rid of the soap dispenser?
He doesn't want to wash his hands.
Your job is to keep everyone healthy, not contribute to the sickness.
He's not healing this round. He's just bathing in the blood of his enemies. That's it.
I think that violates his, like, doctoral oath or whatever that is.
Is that what it's called, the doctoral
No,
oath?
it's definitely called something else.
I'm definitely holding you to that.
I just can't remember what the actual name of it is right now.
The doctoral oath. Help others before killing others.
I think he already broke it, considering he's like a member of this like multinational police force that involves killing people, so he might already be breaking it.
Jekyll, Hyde, I mean, come on.
Well, Arbad aren't going to have too many issues getting access to the garage itself, but Kardama, once again, these aggressive plays continue to stunt Arbad. Picks up 2, and it's no problem at all. Just walks right up to the door, hello, and goodbye to both Beastly and Raph.
See, Patrick's going to do his job, but Kardama's immediately going to have his head ripped off by Cali, and Doc's going to get down, but he's going to have one more stim pistol to pick himself back up. The pre-fire going to come out, but Cali's going to follow it up. Tuffy with a shot as well, as Cobra will go down. Shotgun allocated to Albatross, but he will bite the bullet as well. It's all left up to Davies. The plant's going down by Cali. Will he be able to be found? No, he chose a deeper area to plant the bomb as Davey, gunshots. We'll report from Yellow Stairs, and Carnage will report to duty. My black car as Arbad will somehow fight through the pain and find round number 6.
Obviously, we see the aggressive push working its way out against Garage, which kills 2 of Arbad's original players that were attempting to push in, but Cali turning things around, going full Rambo mode, just pushing in, and also beautiful snipe onto those 2 players in the early push. You like that?
What an operator to use the tag Rambo with. That was very good. I like that. That was good. That was very good. The eye patch really sealed the deal.
It fits, right? You know. So we'll see Cali continue to try and utilize that. He can make the same play again in theory, as Nokturnal won't be changing up the site. They'll go right back to the basement. We do see the 6-pick used. Looks like he was second-guessing it for a second there, but that is going to lock in the Valk. And we'll see that hidden, hopefully allowing for Arbad to not notice a few of these black eye cameras getting tossed out. No IQ, so they'll have relative freedom to throw them into the open as well and try to get outside intel if that's going to be the aim. But we shall see where exactly Cobra's going to look to throw these down at.
Things pretty even across the board for both teams here as support's doing their job and entry fraggers doing their job as well, as we see people from both sides of the coin in the double digits. Appears that the roam game is going to be a choice of Nokturnal once again, as they're opening literally every single hatch inside of Consulate. And that's exactly what you want to do. The more areas that the offenders have to worry about when they're inside of the building, the better. I mean, it's just like, okay, we're going to do a back take, for instance, right? We're going to try and take Locker's hallway here. That's where we want to get aggressive. Okay, cool. but you want to open up that garage. Reasoning you want to open up that garage is no matter what, Nokturnal has to worry about it, because the immediate, right when you stop forgetting or stop remembering about that being open is when you get punished. It's like playing against Montang. Right when you look away from him for long enough, he's going to drop that shield and shoot you in the side of your face, and then he's going to laugh at you. And, you know, that's exactly what the offenders are going to do if you forget about them.
It's a little bit louder than the garage push, though, obviously. That big shink. Or whatever. That's my best attempt at imitating the shield closing.
Very good. I think that.
How would you rate that?
Yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10. But I'd say if they ever made I'd never say if they made a new noise file, like a new audio file, they should definitely make that Montanks just shink.
All right, well, once again, no time wasted for Auerbad as they pop the garage open. Again, increasing their ability to gather intel as well here with popping the garage so early on. Granted, again, first kill this time does go over to Dave. He's given a chance to impact, whereas before, spent a lot of time roaming, setting himself up upstairs, but ultimately we did not see them pushing in his direction. So he became the last man standing and was not able to do much, as it was like a 1v4 at that point. Callie not wasting much time either. Already one of these fixating bolts going down to block off Yellow Stairs access. Should in theory allow for Beastly to at least slightly push in, but he's a bit timid, obviously. More than likely due to drone intel that was found before about these two players sitting in the back. ADS is also going to deny one of their early frag grenade attempts.
Flank hold is Davey and Callie are in kind of a battle of the minds here, but they really don't know it just yet. Smoke's going to try and rotate in, but Callie with the pre-fire, not going to find too much. Tuffy will finally find someone with a grenade as Kraidama will bite that, or at least play catch with it. Callie going to find two as he's actually, oh no, actually Rav. As Callie's is going to make sure he's dead. Beastly will find one of his own. It's all left up to Albatross on the Yellow Stairs. He's going to find two. That SMG-11 though, not very many rounds. He knows he's behind Black Car. That shotgun does have quite a bit of range, but very, very low HP on the smoke, and he's gonna have time to reload the SMG-11. Albatross coming up clutch with the pre-fire onto Black Car.
It's not over yet. Nokturnal. Ooh, very smooth there. Beautifully done.
Hello, Top Clips on Monday. How you doing? Wow.
Very, very well done indeed. Nokturnal continuing to fight back and now have a chance to trigger overtime against Auerbad. Granted, Auerbad at the same time also with a chance to close it out, but it's not going to be against the basement take anymore with Nokturnal finding success on it. The site will be locked away. We're back up to console and meeting room for the last round of regulation to decide if we go to overtime. Quick reminder, by the way, folks, we do not use infinite overtime here. It's just going to be 3 rounds straight. Or if Auerbad will get the quick closeout. Well, not necessarily quick, but 7-5.
So we are going to have our first pulse brought by Nokturnal here as they recognize out that Auerbad was doing quite a bit of damage with it, and they want to try and follow suit. That Nitro Cell coming up big once again, and you can never doubt the amount of utility that Pulse has. That cardiac sensor coming up huge, especially with a vocal teammate. You can legitimately coordinate your entire team around one utility. The beauty of the cardiac sensor comparative to, say, well, we'll talk about Mira right now, I guess, due to the fact that the Black Mirrors are on deck right now for Nokturnal as well. You can't move those around. You can only just see through one panel of wall, but now you have a mobile version of that, basically, that can just see the hearts of his enemies through walls, and he can literally just walk around the entire map. That is why he is one of our other players, a high-tier player, at least Canadian. That's why it's one of his favorite ops in the game is you can legitimately see your enemy before they see you, and you can adjust your entire team around what they're doing before they even know it.
We're having a good opportunity to kill at least one of them with the Nitro Cell utility that's also given to him. We saw that used quite a bit by the guys on Auerbad in the first half. Relative success was found on that as well. Tuffy, namely from the basement. We've got Auerbad out on the board for the last time in regulation here now on the attacking side, and we'll see just how they're going to approach this push. So they are going to put 2 claymores down on the outside of the site just to make sure nobody tries anything. We did see one player from Auerbad attempting to do that. It was from admin side. We saw the run out before. Didn't really lead to much, unfortunately, but safety first is still the way that they'll play it by positioning those down. And Rat already trying to go for some early Yellow Stairs control here.
Yeah, he attempted this last time, but he got immediately punished. But they're actually going to abandon Yellow pretty early on, even though last time Smoke did find some success here. He's going to rotate over to Bathroom, try and play out his life, keep those Toxic Babes on him. His Carnage is ready for the rotate this time around. It's going to be Cobra, no more Pulse, no more Nitro Cell for Nokturnal. Only real people to worry about are on site, all except for the Jaeger of Davey. as he will take down Carnage. But I don't think that he knows it just yet. Buck going to be able to pick up Carnage, which means he's going to be able to put down a couple more of those air jabs unless he already has expended all of those. Callie once again playing on these west windows. He's been pretty punishing so far as Davey will finally bite the bullet and Beastly will be the one to deliver it. It's Nokturnal trying to fight for their lives here on site.
Already 2 players gone down. Callie trying to make a push. Does it to peak relatively wide and will take damage to that, but it's not going to matter. 2 more players from Nokturnal knocked out. It's all in the smoke here now. Albatross, we've seen some impressive stuff from him before, but this may be asking a little bit too much. He's already been pushed to the inside of small bathroom. He's got a tiny little breach in the wall to try to play off of here, but overall, he's been pinched. The plant's going down. He can't, okay, he can prevent at least 1 kill as he manages to pick off Carnage, but can't stop the plant from happening. Now is to try and battle the outside of this. But only 20 HP left. Rav immediately holding the angle and immediately taking him down, meaning Arbad will claim victory 7-5, pushing them into our final match of the day and earning them an opportunity to qualify for the conference qualifier.
Nothing like max regulation on our first match of the day, but very good match by Arbad. Their defensive set was definitely a lot better than their offensive set, but they still found the win here and are going to move on to our third match of the day, which we will find out who they're going to be playing in this next matchup. But Nokturnal, I will say at least, had a very, very good showing. They did a lot of things that found them success at least later on in their match. Their defensive set, once again, looking better than their offensive set for both of these teams. So, roam game was really the big thing for Nokturnal. They were punishing Arbad so very much with that late roam.
Not only that, but Arbad has a few issues that they have to look at going into the next matchup now. Most notably, the intel game on their attacking side, just not really able to get enough of it on site up until, you know, oftentimes the very late round, and oftentimes costing them. We saw the same situation that they themselves had clutched out of in the late round there, where their site players were able to come back from multiple 2vx situations. They themselves struggled with that because they weren't able to get a lot of site intel. And obviously, as you were mentioning too, the drone economy was a pretty lackluster thing for them. So they'll have to watch out for that in our third match of the day, when they go up against a team, which, like we said before, is going to be an even greater challenge from the one they just met.
I will say this, though. Nocturnal's defensive rounds were a lot better due to the fact that they really never lost man advantage. There was not, you know, an exponential amount of clutches, whereas Arbad really were leaning heavy on their site players. I mean, what do we have? We have 4 straight 2vx situations for Arbad, which is truly insane. And I mean, Callie coming up massive, especially in that clip right there that you guys just saw. And I mean, that's really the tail of the tape there. Arbad just getting ahead early, and it wound up paying off in dividends for him. Yeah,
I don't know if the aggression was just due to them kind of underestimating their opponents and their capability, especially on the first try, right? When they get pinched inside of admin so early on and lose like 3 players right at the start of the round. I don't know if that's just because they underestimated their opponents and thought they weren't going to be able to pull off something like that, or just the fact that they weren't actually watching their flanks and whatnot. But their next opponent they're going to go up against is clearly going to abuse that as well. So they really need to try and reel that back. To be fair, they did reel that back. There was a lot of adjustment from Arbad in the course of the match. As we got into the later rounds, we saw them go for their second go-around on the second floor sites. They pulled it back. They played a lot more passively. The same on their attack. When they were having problems gathering intel in the midst of the round, they slowed down their attack by quite a bit and focused a lot more on their droning capabilities, and that immediately leveraged itself into a few round wins to kick them back into the game and ultimately close out here on the 12th round.
I still cannot believe Albatross won that 1v3 situation in Garage. I mean, he was locked down on yellow. I'm just like, okay, you know, he's dead. There's really nothing you can do right there. You have the SMG-11, and you're going to try and have a gunfight with 3 separate people. I thought initially what was going to happen is that when he took that first gunfight, someone was immediately going to rotate just because of the mag capacity on the SMG-11. You really can't do much unless you grant them enough time to switch to that shotgun. You really don't have to worry about it too much. It's more just less free pickings, but that's not what's going to happen, as he will be able to clutch up that round. But it's going to fall on deaf ears as Arbad will win this 7-5.
Yeah, overall just a crazy amount of individual plays as well over the course of this matchup, and that was often what was happening. The site players in the late round pulled off multi-kills, roamers able to rotate, and pretty much unrestricted too, and this was more so on Arbad's attacking side that we saw this happening. Their opponents were able to rotate quite a bit. I think most notably, remember the player's name specifically. We were doing it. The Jaeger player was doing a fantastic.
Davey.
Yeah, Davey. Sorry, thank you. Davey was doing an absolutely fantastic job playing downstairs around like piano room, and really was able to abuse his opponents there in one round specifically as they were trying time after time again to push yellow stairs. Took out 2 players, completely killed the yellow stairs push and the momentum for the team for the rest of that round. And that wasn't the only time we saw it happen. That was happening quite a bit on Arbad's attacking side.
Yeah, late roams, especially on console, are very, very punishing because you have no idea where they're coming from. There's so many hatches, so many staircases that you can rotate from. Unless you have someone strictly dedicated, just their entire sole purpose in life for that round is to make sure that you do not get flanked. You're going to have a bad time. So, besides that, I think the only thing, or at least the closing notes for me, is that Cali is an absolute monster with that M249. I mean, that man set up so many rounds for victory for Arbad on offense that they really couldn't even clutch out. I mean, he had that massive play there on Garage that they did end up winning, and that was completely on the back of his efforts.
All right, guys. Well, that closes out our first match of the day. Do stick with us, as match number 2 is coming up in just a few minutes. It's Team USA themselves, Rogue, going up against Holy Wada. So stick around, and we'll have that match in just